Hey guys, this is Dekin from Team Crimson bringing you my Angel Feather deck profile. This is not my deck, this is my lady's deck, but I'm learning how to use it so I can teach her how to play. Let's get into the deck profile. So for your main grade 3 is going to be 4 Ergodials. It's the new boss monster of the deck now. Its skill is when placed on Vanguard, you counterblast one, and then choose up to 2 cards on the field and put them into the damage zone. And then if 1 or more was put, this unit gains a crit, and then it gains 5k for every open, basically open counterblast your opponent has for the turn. And when you do put cards into the damage zone, regardless of who they go to, you do get to heal. So if your damage zone is a face down card, you put 1 card into it, you get to, if you want, recover that face down damage, or to lessen the power of Ergodial, recover your face up damage. Moving on with the 3s, we run 4 Metatrons because the synergy with Ergodial is just so amazing, because you nuke board with Ergodial and then ride into Metatron, counterblast 2, recover a damage, and then basically damage check yourself by recovering to possibly gain further effects. So that's actually a really good combo. And then the backup grade 3 is 3 Zerakios. Only 3 because in my playing with the deck, I've noticed that it is not super needed, but extremely nice when you do run into it. Because there will be turns where you'll ride vanilla Metatron, and superior ride Zerakio from the damage zone, especially if your opponent's grade 3. And then you basically get free +3 to the front row if you have a card in your damage zone that was put there that turn. So that's it for the 3s. Running the 2s, we run 4 of the new RRR Freezing Granter. Its on place is almost exactly the same of Ergodial's. Its on placed from hand is Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it into the damage zone, and then your opponent can choose a card from his or her damage zone, recover it, and then when it attacks, you counterblast 1 and it gains 5k for all of your opponent's countercharged. So if your opponent has 4 face up, it'll gain 20k, 1 face up, 5k, 5 face up, 25k. It is a varying beat stick, so it's extremely nice. Continuing on with them, I run 4 of the RRR from the last set. To when placed from hand, you Soul Blast, call a card from your damage zone, then top card goes in face down. I've been debating on running it at 3 of, just to run her at 3 of also, because it's 5k for all of your damage. So if you have 5, it's 25k, 2, 10k, and that's continuous. But I don't have another copy of it yet. Once I do get another copy, I will eventually run it at least 3 of, and maybe slim this down, because I really only use this once to twice a game anyways. But it's still a good card. It's personal preference at that point. Then moving on to the 1s, play 4 of the new Healthful Intendant, and it is your primary ride target and your best grade 1 ever to ride. So idea is ride this, then you'll take your 2, ride over top of it. Even if you're at no damage, it goes into your damage zone and you get the Spirit called out. So it's extremely nice and really helpful if you want to fill board. Also, when your opponent is, basically if you put a card in your opponent's damage zone, so by damage checking or using Ergodial or Freezing Granter, it's a free 5k. So it's extremely nice, and I love to ride it, but for some reason it does not want me to ride it all the time. And then the next grade 1 slot is the new Dispense Angel, because it is nuts. Because again, same skill as this. If a card's put into your damage zone, or your opponent's damage zone, either by damage checking or forcing them to put it into the damage zone, it'll gain 10k. So it becomes a 17k booster. It's really nice to make numbers, which most of the time you will get insane numbers late game. and then 3 of this guy, because when placed from hand, you counterblast, and then you swap a damage with a card for your hand. So 9 out of 10 times if I have a Zerakiel in hand and need to go for the ride, I'll call it, counterblast a card that I want, and put the Zerakiel in. So I basically just swapped for a free cost and Superior Road on top of it. So it's extremely nice. And then the one teched in is Scanning Operator, just because, again, same thing with her and her. If a card is put into your opponent's damage zone, instead of power, you get to push to soul, draw, and discard. And that's only after the battle that it boosted, so it is restricted by that, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Especially like late game, if you're able to use Ergodiel and be like, well, I want that in your damage zone, so it's put, call, swing. That can be the only card you're using, boosted, push into soul, then you draw and discard. It's just a nice way to mill through the deck a little more than what you usually can do. But moving on to the zeros, I have gone kind of a defensive route with the deck running 8 draws. I chose this way because Excel is a problem in the meta. And yes, that is coming from me playing main decking 2 Excel decks, more specifically Naru's, which is an Excel killer, and then Aqua's, which is a lesser bad version of Beast Deities. It's not as toxic. It's just no guard your last turn and you're dead instead of multi-attack you to death. I run the 8 draws for just, I hit all my pieces that way. If I don't run the 8 draws, I won't hit any of my pieces, and the deck really needs to hit pieces to do good. And then 4 crit, for the obvious, it's the only other trigger I could run, because there's no such way of running 12 draws. Even then, I would not recommend it. But just a 4 crit, because crit pressure is not necessarily needed when you're swinging with big numbers all the time. When you do see it on the occasion, it is nice. And then closing off with the 4 heals. Well, all in all, the deck is, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. It has its moments. Ergodiel does help a lot. There have been games against Beast Deities, and Naru's, and Takis, and Aquas, and against all the decks that I've played, I've been able to completely board wipe them. At the expense of giving them counterblasts, but that just powers up Ergodiel for the plus a crit swing, making massive numbers, and all my rear guards having huge swings. But aside from that, that is the deck. Sorry that it's a little late, guys. We've been, as you can tell from my voice, we've been kind of under the weather and not been able to record as much recently. We are apologizing for that. But there should be games with God Hand, which Zach will be, I'll be posting that deck profile hopefully shortly after this one uploads. And then I will also hopefully be posting games between the Angels and God Hand, and see if we can get a good game between God Hand and other decks and Angels and other decks. But we will keep you posted on how all that goes. Don't forget to follow our Instagram channel, and like and subscribe. See you guys later.